Welcome back, everyone, to another university segment at REIMAGINE 2020 V2. My name is Roshan Mirajkar. I'm the University Program Assistant Director here at MouseBelt. And with me, I have a very exciting guest. I have Ryan Cooper, who is the founder of the Bowie State Blockchain Association. Ryan, it's been really great talking to you and keeping in touch with you past couple months. Why don't we start by letting everyone know a little background on you and what you've been working on the past couple of months.
Okay, everybody, my name is Ryan Cooper. My trademark is Will have back in the music. What I do is I started a crypto consultation business as well as a blockchain consultation firm. It's called Bill Solutions. I also am a member and unofficial facilitator / co-founder of the Bowie State University Association here at Bowie State University. This is also my matter. I graduated here in the class of 2007 with a major in computer technology. I currently work here as a lead technician, and I learned about blockchain about 5-6 years ago, and I've been 100% in ever since I learned about it. I've spoken with conferences around the world, actually around the country, virtually around the world, and I'm a member of the university program, as well as the Black Youth Programs Blockchain Accelerator program.
Yeah, you've been very active in our MouseBelt University program. We have 100+ schools now, and you're in the same region as me. So although we've met up a couple of times because of the whole situation, we've had to do everything virtually, but you're one of the members that is a huge advocate for entrepreneurship. And you always tell me about interesting opportunities at Bowie State. So if you want to get a little bit into what you're involved with and what are the opportunities like for students in universities all around, but you can also talk about specifically your university.
All right, so we're going here at the university that recently launched an initiative called Entrepreneurship Academy. So what we're doing is what we're doing is we're trying to gear all ages throughout the whole entire university focus on entrepreneurship. So we're basically nurturing students from entrepreneurship perspective. We're showing them business model campus, we're giving them resources, we're giving them access to legal advice, access to small business administration, various resources we have inside the various spaces to entrepreneurship. We're also building an entire dormitory. We're almost done with it. We'll be done in about another year and a half. But it's called the Entrepreneurship Center, I think. And basically, it's going to have business areas laid out for students that launch business. It's going to be relocated to this building. So it's going to be a dormitory. The entire dormitory is going to have entrepreneurship in my state. We're also planning on this is official, but I just want to keep going. So I'm pretty sure we're dedicated to the technical classes, as well as possibly a crypto player, and that's where I come with my business, and part of my university as well as Black people and cryptocurrency. So to come in and facilitate it's going to be a hub actually that we can use some virtual and hopefully that I just in the university system network as well as other universities interested in using our resources.
And what are some of the opportunities involving collaborative work, I guess? You know, I know you work a lot in the blockchain and crypto space, educating a lot of companies and organizations, but you've also told me that you're involved with educating some professors about some grant opportunities. So how does that look like at the university level? And how did you get started with even brainstorming some of those ideas?
it's actually kind of funny. I know a lot of the professors from my time here. I got really close with them over the years. A lot of the professors that when I initially started, my major was computer science. So I knew a lot of them personally, and they all know about my efforts now. And I studied Dr. Sharaj Sharma. What's up, Dr. Sharaj Sharma? He just got a grant with the National Science Foundation to work on Bowie State students on some research projects as to why the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting the African American community, one of the worst communities to be affected.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's doing is he's using data analytics and data visualization in immersive and non-immersive environments. Just to backtrack, immersive meaning virtual reality, augmented reality, using that to almost like lawnmower minority report, like controlling the data elements that way. Versus non-immersive, which actually just mouse and click dropping in real time, using the models to basically control the data and understand or estimate predict what's going to happen with the data. So he's working on that. I just had a meeting with him earlier this week to talk to him about possibly using blockchain in that big data analytics, maybe using a blockchain database or blockchain technology. MouseBelt University can somehow partner with students doing this research to try to work together or bring resources together. But that's just one of the many things that I'm working on in the background here at Bowie State University with the Blockchain Association, as well as the partnership with MouseBelt University.
Yeah, and we'd love to be involved in a lot of these initiatives because we definitely have the resources and we can bring together the right people to make a lot of these things happening. Right now, we're actually exploring creating different working groups so that students can sort of virtually participate in the relevant groups or organizations that they're interested in. What are some of the projects that you have tried to use blockchain in? Like, have you? Is it kind of consulting related, or do you kind of push more toward actual usage in terms of what you just mentioned, like data analytics?
Well, that's just one of the hypothetical ideas. We haven't really moved forward. Like I said, I just talked to the professor a few days ago about this. But one perfect example, we're talking about the Bowie State University Blockchain Association, an actual use case. During one of the recent MouseBelt group calls, one of the other gentlemen talked about working with his university and buying the football tickets to his games using a blockchain solution to automate that entire process as opposed to the legacy solution, the legacy systems. And he was actually given the green light to do a pilot program with his blockchain university on campus to try to facilitate the purchase of the tickets at the campus football or sports events. I think that's one great idea. Like I said, these are all just ideas, but I would love to move forward with the actual use case. Another example of something I thought about, we are one of the first historically black college universities to have a Saxby's coffee chain on our campus. And when they did the company kickoff, I had the opportunity of meeting with Nick Baird. He is the CEO of Saxby's. And I threw the idea out in small talk as we was both leaving the meeting. What about doing a pilot program here at Bowie State University and accepting crypto for coffee as a pilot program? He said, get back to me, but it's just not the name drop, but these are some of the small ideas I have working with my business and MouseBelt Accelerator, Bowie State University Blockchain Association, and the other entities that are.
Yeah, it's great how you're just kind of going out there doing the work just yourself and being an advocate. And I think we definitely need more of that in blockchain, where a lot of the progression and the work, like our theme for this conference is disrupt the system. And I think the only way a lot of these disruptions will happen where, like you said, people are actually using this emerging technology and not relying on legacy systems, because it's really hard to get people to change from legacy systems. So I think we definitely need more students and more professors to collaborate at that university level, because it is how the internet came about, at universities, small projects, trying things out, and collaboration between different universities. So what is a couple of pieces of advice to other entrepreneurs or even students who are in their university student orgs, but they want to do more. Like they actually want to see these projects happen. What would you tell them to focus on?
I actually have a list of resources here. So I'm going to kind of go down my list. I actually copied this off of the Entrepreneurship Academy's website here at Bowie State University, but it's a lot of great resources, and I'm not going to take a lot of time. The first thing I would do is reach out to your chamber of commerce in the area we live. They have a lot of resources there. I would suggest that you reach out to your small business development center in your area or anything similar to that. I definitely recommend joining any Facebook groups you can find, anything revolving around crypto. I have a few that I would like to personally name up. DMV Crypto Group, short for DC, Maryland, Virginia Crypto Group. Actually, I'm the moderator in that group. There's a few other groups I recommend. These are global groups, not just here for Maryland. A lot of resources I recommend the Blockchain group on Facebook. I recommend the Black People and Cryptocurrency group on Facebook, and I also recommend my page, the Bill Crypto Solutions, also on Facebook. And then of course reach out to your college. Go to the computer science department. Find out if any of the professors are teaching anything in crypto. Definitely, I recommend the MouseBelt University website. Getting registered on that website through your college email. You can actually get certifications and get some free training there. And it's a really good resource just for students that are looking to get into crypto and entrepreneurship in the crypto field.
Yeah, those are some, I think those are some great resources. And now I kind of want to ask you about kind of what you think this technology can bring to the future of equal opportunities. And, why do you think this technology in particular, there's so much organization around how it can equate the opportunities out there? Like, do you see it as just another emerging technology like artificial intelligence or machine learning or even data science, cloud, all of these things advancing? Like, why do you think blockchain has a different value proposition in terms of equality, like bringing more opportunity to not only students, but equaling the playing field in terms of for like even startups, right?
I think it gives you an entirely brand new value proposition. It's almost like its own infrastructure. And basically, this is going to affect every single field. The problem is how simple is that transition, and for everyone that's new to this blockchain thing, to understand how it works. Second, scalability. That's a big issue. But we have a lot of new technologies like sidechains and sharding, all these different things with DeFi going on now. So,
Yeah,
so it's an
yeah.
interesting question. I mean, it's an interesting question. It's kind of tough to answer that one.
Yeah, like I was trying to get your thoughts around like after the organizations get educated and they have the information, what else is the missing piece for the transition to happen? Because these organizations, I believe, I don't know if you believe the same, they're not going to transition into another technology that might disintermediate them or replace them. So do you think you know they'll use it to like will blockchain be used to kind of level the playing field, or will some of these organizations use it to increase their power that they already have, like their grip on control, right?
I see. I think it's going to be an organic process because the older companies, there are lobbying firms that they don't want blockchain to come in and change the way they've been running things for the last 30 to 50 years, even probably even longer than that. But what's going to happen is these legacy systems are going to have blockchain departments come up within them. And it's going to slowly happen over time. They're going to find ways to make the blockchain solutions interact with other companies' blockchain solutions. There's going to always some governance and maybe like similar to like the IEE, something similar to that in the crypto world. We have regulations and standards. And it's going to be a slow organic process, but I see it happening already. A lot of companies have research and development programs in blockchain that are slowly roll out implementation of milestones into their production environment, working environment. Like that, and testing interoperate with other businesses and other blockchain, things like that. So it's going to be a slow organic process. The more and more companies do this, and the more conferences we have and cooperation, I'm noticing a lot of companies now because they're realizing that technology can work together. They don't have to work harder and hold up, duplicate solutions when there's open source solutions out there, and we can work smarter instead of working hard. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of open source tools out there that can, I think, help level the playing field. And I do think it's interesting how a lot of industries, like even at MouseBelt, we've added Rolls-Royce, ING Bank, a company like Anheuser-Busch to our Blockchain Education Alliance. So
Right.
seeing a lot of industry demand, and all of these members are working on interesting research or using blockchain in some level of their organization. So I think right now they're mainly using it for operational efficiencies. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because why would you change from your legacy system unless it's adding a different value proposition? And one thing you mentioned was governance. So have you sort of made that transition into learning more about things like decentralized finance and staking versus, when we first kind of connected a year or so back, the industry was tailored all around mostly cryptocurrencies and coins. Now I'm seeing the transition into protocols. So has that affected any way in which you're helping to educate these organizations? Do they seem to understand the governance value prop more so than maybe using cryptocurrency, if that makes sense? Like voting and
I haven't really talked to anyone here at Bowie State University about DeFi and the governance aspect.
why not?
I talked to my client about DeFi. I've been to DeFi heavily. I made thousands, made so much money. Yield farming, shout out to that, and that's what staying on track. I'm very familiar with DeFi coins, yield farming, liquidity pools. I've been really getting my feet right now. I actually just signed up to get my certified blockchain expert certification through the blockchain council. So I'm working on that, as well as some courses with Tech and of course MouseBelt University. Shout out to MouseBelt. And yeah, we're definitely, I'm learning a lot of things surrounding DeFi. I'm really excited about Polkadot and what's going on, which is all the different DeFi now for a lot of different random things, a lot of new financial ideas that happen in cryptocurrency. Like, it's almost like a big science project, a big science fair right now. We just don't know what's going to happen. It changes every month. We have new things coming out every month, and everyone else is peaking like, about how can we do something like that? So everyone's learning that at an exponential pace right now. It's really beautiful. We just got to keep it going on.
So do you think that the explosion of DeFi will bring in more people who are not in the industry or not even affiliated with crypto yet? Because I would say that cryptocurrencies in general, like Bitcoin, kind of sometimes have a bad reputation in terms of what they're tied to. We saw the Twitter hack that happened a couple of weeks ago, and although that was a hack related to Twitter, because they wanted to use Bitcoin to make some money or whatever the case, Bitcoin got a bad rep, even though it had nothing to do with it. So do you think that these new use cases will bring more interest in a different way?
Definitely. It's actually funny. I was actually in on that call the other night about the call we had about the two sides we took on the hack. But
oh yeah,
that's boy, it was a bad look for Bitcoin, but overall, the more mainstream we make it, the better. I think applications that give random people incentives, for example, the Bitcoin games. I can't think of the top two out right now, but of course, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, basically for the people that don't know, it's basically a collectible item put on the
Mm-hmm.
blockchain. It's one of a kind public key, private key address, so it's a one of a kind collector's item. But things like that. Coins, like, for example, not the name drop, it's just the first one that hit my head. Stormax, for example, that over the weekend. And you can just do video tax like videos or, buy things online and you earn additional crypto. Companies like Bosch, I recommend companies like that, my clients, companies like Bowie. There's many companies, but there's a small incentives in earning free crypto. Watch my videos, you get free crypto. Go to my Bitcoin casino, gamble a little bit, you earn free crypto. For people to mine coin, on my exchange, get free crypto. So the more opportunities Bounty OS, for example, you do various bounties online, various tasks like Fiverr and earn crypto from private developers. There's so many avenues, and I think that's what get the word out. People are hurt right now with the economy, and sit at home on their phones, and they don't even realize you can get started $20 in DeFi and start to immerse in all of this technology
Mm-hmm.
and make it. Even if you don't have a financial background, learn it about DeFi is going to force you to learn about terms like leverage and liquidity and short futures and all these different financial terms that DeFi is all about.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that like if you already know about finance or if you already know about some of these traditional topics, cryptocurrencies and this whole industry, it's not really relearning the entire system, I would say. Like, we definitely need a lot of people from these traditional backgrounds in order to build this new system. And I really do hope we get more students, more professors wanting to do more research, because I think it kind of this whole industry, the growth, I see it happening from the bottom up rather than the top down. Like, we'll definitely see more industries and organizations adopting interest in it in different ways. But I thought it was interesting how you said like you will actually learn more financial terms if you get into the space. What are
Let me chime in real quick because I was going to say, like, you made me think about something. So another thing that I really think was really good is if we did more hackathons and if we did it in a way to make it presentable where people could click in and maybe see the part that they want to see or be able to basically make it a user friendly way to get these hackathons out so people can see how these things are thinking, these problems. For example, I recently participated in Howard University's hackathon just before this whole COVID thing happened earlier this year. And I learned a ton of things. I had no idea what hackathon would do. But when I went, I learned about it. I learned all the ways that you can, I mean, you can do this in high school. You can, that's what I'm trying to teach my son about crypto. Like, I told him over the weekend, I sent him some $20, $50 of Bitcoin just so he can play and tell them about my business and keep the ball rolling. And
and are there any are there any future applications that you think will pan out more so just in the environment that we're in? Like, have you seen any shift in uh, what professors are working on in terms of projects or even students? Like, do students want to more so work in the industry, or do they want to build more products? Like, do you see the world we're in right now driving up demand for some of these emerging, like you said, research type of projects, in the sense of like, we don't know if a lot of these projects are going to work or if the ideas work, but now might be the time where companies and students are willing to take more risk, right? Have you seen any change in like sentiment or interest?
yeah, so of course there's a lot of risk. I was just looking at something on my desk, but it's kind of a good segue. So, like a use case, for example, we're talking about crypto, and one of the conferences I recently was a member of was the Avant A conference. Basically, it kind of it surrounds around cannabis industry, but more so how can money be moved in that industry is actually a business. So the problem is a lot of states, because of the legality of it, they only have to work with cash. And the problem with that is it's risky. You know, you have to have armed guards every night, on and off
Hmm.
property and things. So one of the ideas that a lot of people throw into the cannabis industry is them using crypto, because it can be sent instantaneously. It reduces that whole loophole with the government's requiring you only use cash. But that's just one idea of a really solid use case that students could come together and think of just a myriad solutions on how to go to merchants that are in that industry and help them onboard them into crypto in a solid way, so that they're tax compliant and all those things. And, you know, it's just one idea, but yeah, there's tons of ways, these use cases. You just got to put the ideas out and show and guide students in the right direction and let them know these opportunities are out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like, I also think that now is the time where a lot of industries just take that risk and see how blockchain or even other emerging technologies can benefit them. If you were to put a call to action out, what type of research or projects would you want to work on next? I know you're involved in a lot of different projects, but if you could sort of pick, what would you
Wow.
pick to work on? Because even we're thinking of ways where we can work on projects with students virtually, let them get that experience, but we haven't found an all-inclusive way to do it yet, or do it very efficiently. But we're also trying to experiment and see um, how students can get that experience and work on projects.
All right, so I'm just thinking of a few ideas. I'm going to name drop a few friends' companies. I'm not really good friends with the CEO, but I do know him. There's a company called Artists. It's a music blockchain platform similar to SoundCloud and all of the other major blockchain, not blockchain music platforms. But the difference is they're using a blockchain, and I believe they're going to have their own token, utility token or security token. I'm not sure, but that would be just an amazing field trip. Take some students out to that offices, wherever that is. Meet the developers, see hands on how they're putting this project together, look at the milestones, see how they did the funding. That would be an amazing hands on type
Mm-hmm.
of event. Another group that I'm working with, the Government Blockchain Association. Shout out to Gerard Dash. He's the, I guess, CEO. He just passed the ownership over to another. He's a good friend of mine. I was at their event back in March at the U.S. Capitol, I believe, and I got to hear a lot of good people speaking in the crypto community. But the Government Blockchain Association, they have a ton of events. They have college volunteer memberships that are discount price. Some of them are even free. And that's another avenue I recommend all the students in MouseBelt Accelerator. Reach out to the Government Blockchain Association. It's a high level crypto type of community, but I met a lot of doctors and senators and people that are really high up in the crypto, or in the world period, that are interested in blockchain and how we can get more mass adoption of blockchain technology out there.
Yeah, thanks for naming a couple of projects. I've heard a lot of people talk about blockchain and music. Are you involved in any like specific interesting use cases? Like, there's been a lot of
So
talk about. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so I'm like I said, the reason I name my company DeVille Crypto Solutions is because my brand is
Yeah.
Coop DeVille. I'm a rapper, I'm a producer. I played
Mm-hmm.
piano for 30 years. I went on tour with Jeffrey Osborne. I got signed to Wu-Tang Great Gigs back in '93. So I'm in the music industry. I tour, I play piano for churches, for local things. I'm in the studio all the time. I teach piano and guitar to adults. I have a music lesson business. So we're actually rolling out an ERC 20 token right now. I can't really talk too much about this in our social media, but it's going to
Yeah, I
be in
got
the
you.
music industry, and it's going to be with the local producers. We have a producer conglomerate slash beat maker conglomerate here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area called Beat Conductors. Shout out to Beat Conductors. And we're working on a blockchain solution that we can maybe do like a utility token with the music industry. And we're going to start it small, but it's going to actually have a solid use case. and then we plan on scaling that out at a later point in
Like
time.
any like any specific, are there any specific problems, just being in the music industry that you've encountered that you think blockchain could fix? Like for example, in art, the value of a piece of art that, let's say someone famous like Picasso, it usually doesn't gain value until they've already passed away or many, many years, but the value never goes back to the original owner. So yeah, what
Right.
problems have
So
you encountered?
the solution I'm working on right now, and y'all better not steal it, is I'm working on ways to the copyright problem, the fraud problem. Say I'm a famous artist and I want to do 100 one of a kind copies of my album, all with one random art piece of artwork. That's a non-fungible token as the cover. I want to make it so no one can rip or copy my music. They get that one copy. There's no way to duplicate it at all. And that's just one solution. But how cool would that be if I partnered up with another famous artist to do each album cover one of a kind? I sell
Mm-hmm.
that album for $20,000 a piece. You know, if I'm a famous artist, there's 20 people that's going to spend $1,000 on an album. I mean, it's a lot of different metrics within that, but being in the music industry so long, I know the front side was performing on stage, as well as the back end, signing a contract with them to get all over your deals and your split deals and things like that. Um, royalties, fraud, copyrights, that's my niche field right there, because you're basically taking out that middleman, you're getting all these artists and musicians the money that they damn well deserve, because they deserve that money. And
Yeah,
they
I agree.
take it. So that would be an excellent solution with blockchain in the music industry.
And I think that because we're also in the same region, would definitely love to keep collaborating on these different projects. And being in the DC region, maybe you will agree with me on this. It's kind of tough to actually make a lot of projects happen. Most of the time, I feel I spend my time being more of an advocate for the technology, like explaining what it is and how it's actually beneficial. So I don't think a lot of organizations in our area are ready to implement it yet. But what do you think are some um, interesting projects that we could work on specifically in this area? Because around Washington, D.C., we have a lot of different people from different backgrounds. Like we have politicians, we have some entrepreneurs, we have a lot of legacy tech that, is important. It powers the rest of the states in a sense, some important
Right,
legacy
right.
systems. But at the same time, um, do you think that because of what's around us, like these different parties, it might be easier for us to move the needle on certain projects?
Yeah, so I was going to piggyback off of what you just said. Of course, we all know about the upcoming Reimagine 2020 conference coming up next week. But I also wanted to give a shout out to the Black Blockchain Summit, which is also going to be happening in the middle of September, I believe. I don't know the exact date. But I had the opportunity to speak at both events the past prior 2 years. They were physically held at Howard University.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I recommend the local conferences. We all just we let everyone we know at our college throughout each and every one of our blockchain associations. We let each other know about the Reimagine 2020, and we give that information to the professors on campus to disperse to all the students that may or may not be interested in crypto. Like I said, that Black Blockchain Summit, we hand that information out. It's going to be virtual, which is similar to the Reimagine 2020 Part 2. So all these things are virtual. I think it'd be a great synergy to share that information amongst each other, because it's all going towards the same end goal: educate the masses about crypto,
Yep.
blockchain, mass adoption, get the babies interested into it, and maybe get programs down into high school, down into middle school, get them ready for this type of thing, so that they're not just jumping in and not knowing what crypto is when they get to college. It's a win-win for everybody.
And to add to that, what I would say is, like, I think there needs to be a lot of education in how the traditional world works right now, because it's kind of hard to understand how blockchain and crypto works, or even the value of it, without understanding how the traditional world works right now. So I know I know there's a lot of opportunities at your university. You want to talk a little bit about the I-Corp program that you all have? We also have something similar where students can use it to, get submit funding requests and actually work on research. So, have you ever used that program?
Right. So it's funny. I was just about to bring that up. So you guys have iCore over at George Mason too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned about iCore through small talk. So I was telling someone about my business, and they were saying, cool, you can get $3,000 for your customer discovery, and then turn around and once you fill out the right paperwork and jump the right hurdles, you get 50K in iCore through a team grant. And I'm just thinking, wow, like. And then right when I learned all this, the COVID hit. So I mean, I guess I could try to do this virtually, but it's just not the same. I know what I mean. But yeah, iCore is an excellent program. Basically, it gives you money to do your customer discovery and get
Hmm.
out there and get that hands-on experience. You'll have money. Of course, you probably have to document every dollar and how it's spent, but you have those resources now to do pretty much anything you want. You can Google how to do something, and you'll have the funds now to try to do what you need to do. So yeah, I course a great program. Like I said, here at Bowie State, we have the Business Innovation Center. We're building that new dormitory based around entrepreneurship and our new entrepreneurship academy. So we have a lot going on here at Bowie State. And like I said, I'm proud to be with MouseBelt. I'm really excited about what's going to be happening soon in the future.
Yeah, iCorp is a great resource. Thanks for sharing that because other students out there at other universities uh, should definitely look into that. I believe it's not restricted to one campus in particular. It's like more so a general program that supports a lot of the entrepreneurship departments all across the states. Um, what's the last thing you mentioned? I was going to ask you something. Oh, I was going to ask you.
So we talking about
Um, Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, does Bowie State have any blockchain courses or certificates right now or in the works?
right. So Bowie State, that's a great question. I was walking down the hall last year, and I looked up and I saw something that caught my eye. Say blockchain. And it was basically I reached out to the professor. Gave me a little cold shoulder because he didn't want to share the syllabus with me, which I get. But I told him I was an alumni. I graduated already, and I wanted it to use for information to share with the Bowie State Blockchain Association. But he told me, but that's a long story. But the point being, I talked to the other professor earlier this week, and he was explaining to me that the other professor was teaching a blockchain course. It was a special course, so it was one time. It wasn't part of a track or a recurring major or anything. But
Got it.
it was basically a blockchain basics foundation of blockchain type course. It made that a little bit into coding, but like I said, I wasn't able to look at the syllabus. But out long term plan, this is between us. I would love to. Well, Bowie State's going to pay for me to get my master's degree. Bowie State's going to be paying for me to get my doctorate degree for free. And a long term goal is to eventually become a professor up here. The professor, I'm going to be the guy who's known on campus that knows crypto. And I would love to just spearhead a whole crypto initiative here at Bowie State University. That's the long term, but you gotta have dreams, right? So,
That's actually I haven't heard you voice that dream or interest to me before, but I'm really
I
excited
meant to tell
because
you. I meant to tell you
no,
at the
that's
U.S. House of Representatives.
yeah, that's really excited to hear you say that you want to be a professor, and I think like definitely people like you are important to have in these universities and organizations because I know you're going to spread that knowledge and sort of encourage more people to just try things out. Like I think you gave a lot of great ideas on like what students can do, like contact your professors, work together with other students, try to like fit yourself where you're needed, or just try to take existing projects that are out there and try to see where you can help out. So in sort of closing out, um, what would you say you're most interested or excited about going forward for the next 6 months? Just this whole industry that we're in general. To preface it, how does your perspective change when you see companies like MicroStrategy buy $250 million of Bitcoin, and then you still have people who say that like Bitcoin has no value, or people are not using these protocols, but the truth is there is a lot more usage. And I think just because of the world we're living in right now, some people are going to be using this technology and they might not go back.
Bitcoin is digital gold. If you don't get any Bitcoin now, you're a fool. Just get some Bitcoin in cold storage and just wait and see. Trust me, later. Um, just buy some Bitcoin. Buy you some Bitcoin. I'm gonna trademark that. Buy you some Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Buy you some Bitcoin. Develop crypto solutions. Bowie State Blockchain Association. Shout out to MouseBelt University.
Thank you, Ryan, for joining us on this segment. Where can people reach out to you if they just want to talk with you, learn more about what you're doing?
All right, so you can reach me at I have a LinkedIn website, Ryan Cooper, RyanCooper. You can look me up on Instagram. My Instagram handle is D as in David, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam, period, and then the word crypto. So it's going to be at dcs.crypto. You can also find me on Twitter, and I have a main website. I could just spell it out. It's bit.ly//COOPDVILLE. Hopefully, once this is edited, maybe I could put a nice little picture up there. But you can find me on LinkedIn. Develop Crypto Solutions. If you Google that, you'll definitely find me out there. I've been doing my business now for about 2 years. And if you're interested in learning more about crypto, like I said, I'm currently accepting clients, and I'm just trying to help people push this whole crypto blockchain thing. I'm doing a lot of things with a lot of people, and it's not all about the money. I'm excited about this and changing people's lives. So let's do it. MouseBelt
Yep.
University, REIMAGINE 2020.
And here at MouseBelt, we're also interested in partnering with you and learning more about how we can help support your initiative. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us more about entrepreneurship and the different initiatives you're involved with. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy tuning back into REIMAGINE 2020.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one, man.